Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy, the Sophisticated Jerk. So today, man, I saw this video rolling around with Dr. Umar crashing out on a live, talk about some chick with a fishy coochie, and he was getting some brains and stuff like that. So yeah, I was just watching the clip, like I said earlier. I watched a little bit of it. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta react to this. You know, my man out here wilding out and shit. But this is why I always tell men, man, before we jump into the video, man, don't become a trick. Because, man, I'm telling you, the psyche of a trick, they always get themselves caught up in scandal schemes with women. The females always come back and try to get more out of the situation. And these guys, man, since they a little emotional, man, instead of just like chalking it up on the chin and learning how to maneuver different, you know, they get emotional and crash out. So that's what we see playing out in this video. So let me go ahead and pull that up. But yeah, my man need to stop tricking. Maybe that school be open. Them kids should be graduating by college and shit. If he would stop focusing on these funky chicks that he be messing with, it got focused and locked in. Shit, he be all right. But yeah, let me go ahead and play the video.
Who I met because she invited me to Kansas City to speak at an event. So her and her son drove me from Omaha, Nebraska to Kansas City to speak. I believe the event was on December 3rd, 2023. I believe the event was on December 3rd, 2023. I believe the event was December 3rd, 2023. And we had the event. We stayed in contact through text message. And ultimately, at the top of this year, maybe late last year, but if I'm not mistaken, I saw her privately 3 times inside of the same Philadelphia hotel after hours for no more than 2 or 3 hours. I repeat, I saw her 3 times in a hotel after hours.
So real quick, I'm gonna pause, man. And you're gonna see when he starts breaking it down, like he starts talking about her smelling and stuff, but just even looking at the video, because like I said, I just saw a little piece, a segment, but it's just like if you linked up with her 3 times for them time frames, like he's stressing out after hours. Like one time you ain't smelled that and you shouldn't have went back after that. So that's why I'm saying this why I don't kind of add up, because it's like if you going back and she smelled like that, then you just a grimy cat. That's what you used to. You deal with that type of female on a regular basis. So yeah, but I that's why I said a lot of times people are emotional. They feel like they got to go on defense and, you know, do the silliness, but they don't understand like the picture it kind of paints. You know, when you do go down that line of stuff, it's like, oh, well, I linked up with him 3 times and met them in numerous places. And my man knew the dates too. Like he was like December so-and-so at this one. So like you kind of pedestalize the chick. You remember all them details like that. But that's why I said trick philosophy, man. That's where you gotta pay attention to a trick.
For only a few hours, 3 times. There's a small chance that it was 4 times. There's no chance that it was 5 times. I'm going to repeat this. Did you need me, boss? Are you good? Okay. So I saw her 3 times inside of a Philadelphia hotel after hours for about 3 or 4 hours. That's it. The total private time she and I spent could not have exceeded 12, 15.
That nigga said he done jumped from 2 to 3 to 4 hours. He in there making love. But he gonna try to flip it. Yeah, 3 to 4 hours. Shit. He was looking at chicken with whited eyes and shit, reading poetry.
20 hours max total time across these 3 visits, maybe 4, but I'm almost certain it was 3. No more
Nigga,
than 12
4
to 15, maximum of 20 hours. When it was time for me to go to Sweden, this young lady told me that she would not mind coming to care for my mother. I assured her that I would pay her, and I did pay her. And this is going to be important when I bring up the attorney in a minute. because I consulted with an attorney in Kansas City who told me that if I can prove that I paid her to care for my mother, then she can be charged with HIPAA violations for discussing my mother's personal, sensitive medical information without permission. So this attorney said, if I can prove that I paid her, which means this was business, this was a business transaction, you paid her to care for your mother. And although she included plenty of lies in her narrative, although she included plenty of exaggerations and fallacies and untruths in her narrative, the mere fact that she purported to discuss your mother's personal sensitive information makes her guilty of HIPAA. And if we can prove that she in fact violated HIPAA law by discussing my mother's business, she can be fined, and she can also be jailed, and she can also be prevented permanently from ever working in the human services field again. An attorney told me that. So
yeah, the HIPAA violations, that's some serious stuff. But again, this is where he kind of screws himself up, because it's like, first you painted a picture in the beginning. You're like, hey man, I was only around there 2 or 3 times after hours smacking it. But then you're gonna give Shorty a job, overseeing your mom and her health condition. And that's why I said, man, a lot of times tricks, man, they always trying to give everybody jobs. They try to use that the money to, like, oh, I'm the position of power to, like, keep thoughts around them and stuff like that. So that's where he messed up, man. It's just like, you don't mix business with pleasure. And it's like, if you're gonna be hiring people, man, I'm telling you guys, man, don't end up messing with the females that you end up having interactions with. If you start having interactions with them, don't put them in a place of employment with you, man. Don't need to cross. Don't play with your money. Because now she must have, from what he's kind of discussing, she must have took some of the information and put it out there, probably because he wasn't messing with her no more, wanted to cut it off. Now it's like, hey, I'm going to eat off his name. I'm putting information out. So that's why it's just like, man, these are some rookie ass mistakes. It's like, how many times you got to go through some shit with people to start maneuvering different? So that's what I'm saying, man. He maneuvers sloppy, but a lot of times they maneuver sloppy because they pedestalize vagina too much. So it's just like, oh man, I got to get at this female. Let me get her a job, put some money in her pocket, then start messing with him and stuff. And then that's when the female, he cuts it off or messes with somebody else. They take it personal because they ain't trying to lose the paper, the trick. And that's when they go to, like, writing books, going on podcasts, putting out all this information. So yeah, guys like this, that, man, they always trip up and have these type of dynamics.
I have to pay him, okay, the retainer fee, and he's going to pick it up from here. So she could go to jail for what she did against my mother, discussing her personal business. I thought parents were off limits. I thought parents were off limits. But I guess when you that trifling, when you that low down, when you're that deceptive and manipulative, nothing is off limits. So anyway, brothers and sisters.
But see, again, man, it's like, I get why you're angry, but it's like, you put a hole around your mom like that. Like, if that's the case, it's like, man, you paint that picture, it's just like, she's downright dirty. So it's just like, damn, Nick, dude, this is your mom. Like, I ain't putting no people unless they got certifications. They come from an actual, like, agency. If my mom was sick, you don't just put nobody around that. So it's just like, man, you're questionable about your intentions, who you bring around you, your networks, if this is the stuff you're into. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, dude, emotional.
She said, I can care for your mother.
You should have been like, hell nah, like, I'm good. Thanks for, volunteering, but hey, I'm gonna get a professional around my mom. I'm good. I got this. Unless you're struggling and you need that discount help around. So yeah, that's why I'm saying stuff ain't adding up, man.
She won my confidence. I said, let's do it. So she cared for my mother twice. The weekend.
Hold on, my bad. Did he say she earned his confidence? What, just because she slept with you a couple of times? Like, you're going to give her the keys to the city? You're going to let her just get around your mom? These are the type of people, too, that be allowing anybody to babysit their kids and shit. So it's just like, damn, they earned your confidence in a short period of time and some hotel sessions. That's why I told you, man, this should get worse and worse. My man just needed, somebody should just cut the lie. One of his people be like, oh, hell no. Umar out here again, upset.
And I was in Eastern Michigan University. That was 3 nights. And she cared for my mother for the week that I was in Stockholm, Sweden. I believe that was 5 or 6 nights. Okay. Eastern Michigan University, Stockholm, Sweden.
So Umar was out there in Stockholm. He was definitely messing with some white chicks. You going to Stockholm, Sweden? You gonna run into one of them joints?
I paid her both times. She never spent time with me in my mother's house because I don't spend time with women in my mother's house. Business is business. Personal is personal. I got her a hotel. I Ubered her over to the home. When she got to the home, I went over instructions with her. I went to the airport. When I got back from both trips, I Ubered her to a hotel. And then she flew out. I paid for her flight. I paid for her hotel. Business was business.
Tricking.
Personal was personal.
See, and this is the problem with the statement. You can't turn personal into business. You know, and that's what the issue. He's like, no, I kept it business. I did this. I flew her out. I did this and this. Already in her mind, she's like, hey, we'd had them interactions. Like, I know your public image. So if you kind of don't want to give me what I want, I'm gonna out you. So that's where it's like leading up to. So she might have did that interaction like, oh, okay, he's paying me and stuff, but he's trying to turn it into a business situation. But in her mind, it's too far gone, man. Once you cross that, it's personal. That's how she's seeing it. She's like, nah, this is personal. You say business all you want to. You better line my pockets.
So after returning from Sweden, I was very disappointed in the care that my mother was given. After returning from Sweden, I was very disappointed in the care that my mother was given. I'm not going to go into detail over the egregious lack of regard and concern she displayed for my mother. I'm not going to go over that. That's too personal. But I was very disappointed and I was guilty. Whenever my mother isn't properly cared for, I take on that shame. I take on that blame. But I said to myself, you can never use this woman again to care for your mother.
Okay, so it makes sense now. Like he saw that lag, and credit to him. Like he saw that, he was like, "Let me rectify this." But this is where I can already tell, like the shit gonna go left, because she's like, "Oh, hell no, you ain't pulling back the bread. You thought I was with you because you was gorgeous, like you some fly cat out here." She's like, "It's gonna go sideways." Why?
So I began to distance myself from this woman.
There you go.
So let me back up again. She saw me 3 times privately. She cared for my mother 2 other times. 5 total contacts. 3 of them private. Brothers and sisters, without being too vulgar, those 3 private contacts basically consisted of her gummy bearing my Shango. She gummy beared the Shango. That's basically what she did. It was a jump off. Hood rat jump off. That's all it was.
So for those of y'all don't know, he was getting some brains. I never heard that terminology, the way he said it like that. But yeah, he was a told y'all, man. Pleasure. He tried to turn pleasure into business. But let me get back to it and let him finish it off.
Fellatio. 3 fellatio sessions. I came to visit. She wanted to please the Prince of Pan-Africanism. So it happened. 3 fellatio sessions. I'm not proud to say that. And then, of course, quote unquote caregiver. I put caregiver in quotes because she did anything but care for my mother. Anyway, this was the first week of March, Sweden. I come back from Sweden. I'm disappointed. Can't work with this woman no more. Can't take care of my mother. I can't mess with you. I started to distance myself from her. On June the 25th, the last moon that we had, I do my Art of Dialogue interview. I'm coming out of my Art of Dialogue interview and my phone is blowing up. There's a woman on Pastor Bussy's page claiming that y'all was in a 2.5-year relationship, that you were in love with her, that you wanted to marry her, that you wanted her to have your child. You were in a 2.5-year relationship with her. You were in love with her. You wanted to marry her. You wanted her to have your child. You were in a 2.5-year relationship with her. You wanted to marry her. You was in love with her, and you wanted her to be your wife. Brothers and sisters.
Let me stop it right there. So the fact that somebody's name is Dr. Butsy, that's crazy. But you know, and this is where guys gotta be careful, man, because that when you doing all this extra stuff, you know, they could paint that picture that it was way more than what it was. Cause you know, a lot of times people want to get that victim, the sympathy from the people. And it's like when you live out there in the public eye like he does, and man, you're asking for donations. Like, man, come on, man. You can't be maneuvering like this. So I mean, think about it. Okay, you put this chick around your mom as a health caregiver. What I mean, it gives that perception like she's closer than what it is. I mean, just being unbiased, it's like, okay, you gave her a job, you're going to multiple events with her, linking up and stuff. So that's where it's just like, you know, he might get mad at other people for doing an interview and talking to her and be like, damn, okay. But it's just like you're kind of giving some validity to this stuff. Like, hey, man, she was around my mom and stuff. So, you know, that's why I said, man, you got to be careful with what you kind of do, putting people around and, you know, like I said, trying to turn pleasure into business.
I have women who look way better than her, who have done more for me in my life than she ever could, who I wasn't in love with, who I didn't want to make my wife, who I didn't want to have my baby. So this woman, this Kansas City thought, this Jezebel, this jump off, this smash and grab, spent 3 times with me, not 3 nights, because I never spent the night. I never spent the night with her in my life. I never spent a night with her in my life. I saw her 3 times.
We don't believe that.
And 3 times, all of which, if I'm not mistaken, were during the first quarter of 2025. 3 times.
Oh, shit.
And I'm in
So
love
this was
with her.
recent.
3 times I want to marry her. 3 times I want her to have my baby. 3 times, and we were in a 2.5-year relationship. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. But it gets worse.
But see, real quick, again, man, it's just like he's trying to like minimalize it, but it's like, man, you gave this chick a job, man, around your mom, who you're claiming like you know, is very important to you. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, this stuff ain't adding up. So yeah, he's trying to minimalize it, marginalize it right now, but it's just like, yeah, you looking bad on this one.
She told Pastor Bussy. She told Pastor Bussy. And let me say this about Pastor Bussy. Rainbow Bunny. Pastor Bussy, the Rainbow Bunny, has been cyber stalking me for 10 years. People have asked me to put a stop to him legally. I had 2 attorneys who sent him cease and desist. And he did not cease and desist. Those attorneys did not live in Utah where he lives. Those attorneys did not live in Utah, so there was no follow-up. I recently consulted with a Utah attorney who told me I have a serious case against Pastor Bussy, the Rainbow Bunny. But I'm going to have to fly out to Utah a couple times to appear in court. So this attorney told me that if I give him the retainer, he will begin the investigation on Pastor Bussy. And after looking at Pastor Bussy's YouTube page, he says he is quite certain that I have a case for slander. I have a case for libel. I have a case for defamation. And he also said, because he's been making money off of my name for 10 years, that he can be made pay me back all the money that he made in my name, and that we can lay siege to any property that he owns. I told him that the man is broke. He don't have any property. He basically pays his bills by making Dr. Umar defamation films. He said, well, if that's the case, if he has a
Yeah, those slander cases is hard to prove, and if somebody broke, you ain't gonna get nothing. So you about to spend all that money on lawyer fees and shit. So I don't know if Dr. Umar's money long like that, but yeah, that would be a lost cause. But get back.
job, if he has a job, then his wages can be garnished until he satisfies the balance. Okay, to constantly slander my name, I'm willing to take a lie detector tests. Brothers and sisters, I'm willing to take a lie detector tests. Brothers and sisters, I'm willing to take a lie detector. I don't mean no disrespect to feminine energy. I don't mean no disrespect to feminine energy. When she took her underwear off, brothers and sisters, she smelled like something crawled up inside of her and died. She smelled like an old fish tank. You ever smell a fish tank that somebody ain't cleaned in like 2 years? They got goldfish in there. They got all kind of fish, and it ain't been cleaned in years. That's what she smelled like when she took off those funky ass drawers. Her drawers were so old and
But see, that's my thing, man. It's just like, because by your own account, you're like, I linked up with her like 3 to possibly 4 times. So that's why I was like earlier, I was like, shit, if that's the case, man, like one, you should have been out, you know, there should have been no more conversation or anything like that. Then also it's just like, man, it kind of shows what type of chicks you're aligning with. You know, if you running into joints like this at your age, like, man, what you just running into anything, like putting them on the staff.
so funky that I thought it was a wife beater. That's how stretched out her drawers was. Her drawers were so old and so funky, I thought her underwear was a slingshot. Her drawers were so funky and so stank, brothers and sisters, that I thought it was a wife beater, brothers and sisters. And I don't mean no disrespect. So when she said, it's my turn, after she got finished swallowing the Shango, she said, it's my turn. After she got finished swallowing the Prince of Pan-Africanism, she said, it's my turn. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, how do I get out of this? Because it ain't no way under God's heaven that King Kong consciousness face, nose, tongue, lips, ears, or hairline is going anywhere near that cootie cat. Brothers and sisters, listen. Brothers and sisters, listen. She told Pastor Bussy that I went down on her. I'm willing to take a lie detector.
He ate that. Stop playing. Umar, you know, gave her a job, you know, laced her pockets, was flying her everywhere. You ate that. Stop lying.
Test. I am willing to take a lie detector test, brothers and sisters. That woman smelled like a dead cow mixed with sour milk and menstruated underwear that was found in a funky alleyway. I lie to you not. She is so acidic. Her yoni-verse is so acidic. She needs a baptism. She needs a deep cleanse. She needs an exorcism. I think she got demons living in that bat cave. I think she got demons living in that bat cave, brothers and sisters. And she thought that the world's most requested scholar was going to go down on her. Oh, no. My women got to be fresh and clean.
Not necessarily shit. You rocking with him, flying him out and shit. So that's what I'm saying, man. I know he was like, man, you know, he felt he had to be on the defense. But like I think him going into these rants with giving up too much details, I'm like, you know, you kind of already laid out the timeline in the front. So you should have had your stuff together where because I mean you definitely went there multiple times. So yeah, this ain't looking good. But let me see what else.
My women got to smell like fresh peaches, fresh daffodils. My women got to smell like fresh roses. If you want these lips to ever touch your peach cobbler, if you want this tongue to ever massage your honeycomb hideout, you got to be clean. You got to be clean, and she need a deep cleanse. In fact, I'm going to treat her because I have her address. I know where she sleeps. I have Pastor Bussy's address. I know where he sleeps. I'm going to send her a gift certificate.
All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there, but yeah, y'all got the point of it, man. But yeah, this is why you don't be out here tricking like this. And you know, man, the sad thing is, man, he trying to get that school together. He trying to, get the money up for that, and it's just like, man, your public image ain't looking too great, man. You're always kind of in getting caught up in this type of stuff. You got to go explain too much, and it's just like, man, I not to be mean, but I wouldn't be sending my kid to no school with somebody at the head like this. You have them cats out there in dashikis tricking on chicks with bad box. So hell nah. All right, y'all, man, keep tuning in. Peace out.